following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
This week on the Defy Life Podcast, the guys discuss their favorite holiday movies, NFL Week 16, and Al talks free agency and his baseball roundup. And as always, they wrap things up with some trivia. All that and more, let's get it.
Yeah, that's what it is. I guess we gotta do it then. You alright? Check, pull, out, money, West Coast, let's get it. Strap in, let's take a ride. Oh yeah, it's about that time, right? Been waiting all week to get to this. It's finally time to defy life. Let's chop it up, keep it real, no other way. That's what we do. We might disagree, but it's all love. Guarantee we gon' speak the truth. Yeah, this hit different. My guys with me now. Who's with us? Stick around for a few minutes. It's contagious. You'll get it. You downloaded the realest. Don't feel us, but get out. You not rocking with Defy Life, then what's your life about? This ain't Defy Life. Told you. On to the shy life. I'm gonna let this ride out though. This is Defy Life. This is Defy Life. Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. This episode is sponsored by Bud Bottles, home of the Bud Bottle and the Bud Freshener. Please visit budbottles.com for your odor eliminating needs. This is episode 137, ladies and gentlemen. Come on in, wipe your feet, close the door behind you. I'm your host, J.R. Glenf. Joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Alvin Glenf. Keon Small, what's good with you, Al?
Man, can't call it. It's good to be here. It's the show before the holidays. So, just looking forward to Christmas, looking forward to New Year's. And looking forward to this conversation because I got my armor on. I feel like I'm going to be taking some cowboy shots in there.
Yeah, as in the words of Regular Scott, shots fired.
Shots fired. So, right. I came expecting it, and it's all good. So, I'm good. It's good to be here. It's good to be here.
Good stuff, man. Yeah, it is the show before Christmas, and we're gonna be dropping the day early this week. Due to the holiday. So, yeah, man, good stuff. Keon, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm watching the Packer Vikings game. It's very close game. Football is not starting to heat up with games Saturday and everything. So I'm just taking it all in. Cowboys shit the bed yesterday. I'm in front of the whole where everybody watched in front of the whole world. Like, god damn. It's all good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. Just, y'all welcome. Everybody welcome to the holiday episode. So we always have fun with this one. So before we get into everything, I had a question for you guys, and it was interesting to me because we're all fathers, and all of our kids are at different age levels. So Al, I'll start with you since your kids are grown ass people. Like they productive citizens at this point.
Yep.
How is Christmas different for you as opposed to when your kids were Keon's kids' ages, like young, or my kids' ages, like preteens? Like how has Christmas changed for you through those different stages for your kids?
Oh yeah. So the first thing that comes to mind is I'm doing it here in Georgia as opposed to New York because the first probably 16 years of my son's life, we did it always up in New York. We would travel and we would spend Christmas either at my family's house or my wife's family's house. So that's different because just being here for the holiday break is still taking some getting used to, but I do like the I do like it being central and at home. So that's different. I think the gift giving is also different, just because when they were younger, it's a lot more. The quantity of gifts probably increases when they're young, and you kind of are trying to give them a certain holiday feel. But then as they get a little older, to your kids' age, what they want for Christmas, it's like it usually becomes a little bit more expensive. And you don't have to get as many gifts, but the gift you get though usually is an expensive gift, or so it just kind of it all just. And then the other part is, I guess, as they get a little older, from your kids to now teenage years, and to where my kids are, the next phase is them having money, or they wanting to buy gifts. You know what I mean? So like now they're going shopping and doing their own Christmas shopping, and might even have jobs to pay for their gifts, or they're hanging out with their friends, and to the point where
they
now
can get you some shit that you actually like.
Well, I ain't gonna say all of that. They gonna get you some shit. We gonna wait. They haven't got to the point necessarily to where it's what you like, but that's okay. Right, that's okay. That's all right. I'll take the fact that your hand is out of my pocket and you buying it on your own dime.
The gift that keeps on giving.
But the ill part.
You heard what I said, Al?
What's that?
Can he buy you like a Rollie or some shit? That's what you like, huh?
A Rollie, like a Rolex?
Yeah. What else? What other kind?
Whatever. Yeah, I'm just making sure I understand, like, slang and everything. I'm like, okay, what are we talking about?
But that your kid want to be a teacher, so that may never happen.
They're probably not. Probably not.
Right.
The other part, though,
to give y'all a sense of
to give you a sense of what you have to look forward to. The college student, when they at that age, the holidays is spent. They come home from school, then they jump in the car, or they go hang out with their friends.
And you never see them, yeah.
Right. That's the shit that you like. Damn, you don't even want to spend time at the crib no more. Nah, man, I'm trying to catch up with so and so, or hang here, or so. That's the other part now. That's kind of ill.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Keon, like your kids are how old?
He's 5, and the other one didn't even count. She only like 7.
She don't even know it's Christmas yet.
But Al just said something I try to keep in my mind. Like tonight, he asked me, "You want me to read him a book before you go to bed?" And like most times I say no, man. But tonight I did it. I just think about what Al just said. I know that day is coming when he ain't gonna be around me really.
Correct.
Right.
So I try to always keep, no matter how tired I am or whatever I got to do, I try to always keep that in my mind. That one day he's gonna be out. Like, all right, I see y'all. That's how I will. We all can relate to that.
Yeah.
You're my homeboy. You my homeboys ain't shit, but I won't be around.
Right. Yeah. And especially when you go off to school and there's people you hadn't seen in months, you're like, I'll holler at you later, pops. I'm gone.
Yeah.
And it's you mentioned that. Like I'm right at, like, my kids are. My oldest will be 13 next month, and damn, it's painful to say I'm about to have a teenager. But and then my youngest is 10, so like my youngest is still at that stage where, and he's always been a daddy's kid anyway, but he's still like clingy, and I'm still the coolest dude in the world to him. But my oldest I'm starting to notice that like that separation, where he's like, nah, I'm good by myself, man. You ain't gotta come check on me until it's time. I'll holler at you when I'm hungry. When it's time to feed me, then I'll holler at you. Like those, I'm starting to notice that. So it's different. It's interesting to notice that shift. His showers are getting longer, of course.
For girls and stuff.
Right. His phone calls are different. He getting phone calls other than just from grandma and Aunt Tanya. So it's different. It's interesting to notice that shift. And Christmas again, like you said, Al, like he didn't want a lot of stuff. It's just the stuff he wanted was more expensive.
Like what? Like what?
So it went from, like superhero figurines and stuff like that when they were younger, and maybe a PlayStation game, stuff like that. To now, he wanted Timberlands. He wanted a smartwatch.
Oh shit! Okay.
So. And he think he fly anyway. He think he the 7th member, New Edition. So
he has no idea who New Edition is. I'm sure.
Oh no, he does. He's a huge. My kids love New Edition.
Okay, because of the movie.
That kind of sparked it, and now they are actually like I don't know if you heard the song. What's the chick from It's a Reality? K. Michelle.
Yeah.
She got a song. Can you make it rain? So she did a twist off of Kingston.
Okay.
My kids heard the song and lost it. They was like, "Who the hell is this? Like, why would she do that to this?" Like, they are deep New Edition fans.
Okay.
Yeah. So they know the dance routines to. If it isn't love, like they know the spot in the video where their Aunt Alicia is in BBD's video. They know all that stuff.
Boy, man.
Right. They know the spot every time they see it. That's Mona Alicia. So yeah, they are huge New Edition fans. So he wanted Timberlands, a smartwatch. Most of it now with kids is technology. So what else? They wanted Bluetooth, PlayStation, headphones, so stuff like that. That's more expensive than superhero characters. When they little, you can get them a cool ass, anything with like their favorite superhero on it, and they cool. And they gonna break it before MLK Day anyway. So I don't know, it's just interesting. It's something I thought of because I know it's different, especially around the holidays when your kids are at those different age ranges, and because and this year is the first year that both of my kids, we know for a fact that they know it's no Santa Claus.
I'm telling that shit already. I don't want to do that shit.
And that's interesting. So why don't you?
I feel like there's so many things. The Tooth Fairy, I wrestle about that. I tell them there's no Tooth Fairy. You think there is? Mommy says so. We not in agreement on that. I feel like, man, there's so many amazing things on the planet that we don't know. Why do we do that? And then you got this white Jesus shit. I mean, it gets into the religion shit for me, but it's like you tell them, okay, this white man can fly, he's real, but this other white man that can fly, he's not real. And it's like, whoa, which one is? I feel like you fucking them up, telling them all this crazy shit, and then it's like, let me say this. I'm gonna say this, and this is how I look at it. I get to a certain point in life. I want my kid to start where I left off. I don't want to put him behind, like teaching him some shit that's just totally ridiculous. And he's got to learn that it's ridiculous, then go forward. It's like let me try to let you start where I left off, kind of thing, so you can go even further. You know what I mean? Maybe if I had got this religion bullshit out my life, a lot sooner, maybe I'll be a lot further along right now. You know what I mean? But that's my thoughts, and that's kind of how I look at it.
Right. Al, do your kids believe in Santa Claus?
I doubt it. I mean, we wasn't the time that was intentionally walking around saying, ain't no Santa Claus, ain't no Santa Claus, ain't no Santa Claus. But we definitely didn't promote them or even like feed into it in any kind of way. Right. We just provided gifts and we didn't try to hide it. We didn't try to. But it was a go to bed, but not because Santa's coming, but go to bed because nigga, I need to wrap your gifts. Right. But I will say, they tend to get a lot of gifts. I mean, so it wasn't even, I guess for me, Santa Claus wasn't part of the tradition, the experience that we provided for our kids. It was more about, being with family. It was about eating dinner. It was about, because that food part, that's definitely a part of Christmas for us. Opening the gifts together as a family. And they tend to get a lot of gifts, man. I can remember like years when we would drive that expedition up there full with gifts, thinking that, we're going to have to provide to a lot of people once we got up there. But the shit on a return, there was some years that they had to get their shit shipped back.
Wow.
Like, we didn't even have enough stuff to put in the expedition. We didn't have enough room to put in the expedition. So it was like, the part that I wish I didn't perpetuate, even though I did, because it was more my in-laws and just kind of going along with the experience, was the excessiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't think that's, necessary. I think, showing love and giving a gift, that was great, but I just think, looking back, man, like, I just think it's a lot of waste that goes on.
Absolutely.
That's just unnecessary.
I'm totally. I just bought my son something today. I ain't about nothing else. I bought him he already got one. I didn't know what to get him for that reason you say. I was a fire, like a little 7-inch fire, like $39. You know what I'm talking about? The little tablet, like.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, got him like that. And he got one already. He broke it. So I went. I feel bad because he don't appreciate it. So I was like,
right.
But I went to what I was saying. You be here and get him all these toys, and everybody else does that. And how do you tell him no? Like, So
like that's always been my biggest struggle, because my wife is so over the top with Christmas and Santa Claus and excessiveness, and so that was a big point of contention for us since the beginning of our relationship, because I was always on them, man, fuck that. I work hard every day. I ain't giving this dude, this made up dude, all the credit.
Yeah.
So we really had to compromise. Like, I never promoted it, but she went all out. So I was like, look, at least let 2/3 of the gifts be from us, and you pick a gift that they get from Santa if you want to do that. But like, every gift under the tree is not going to be from Santa. So those are like,
I shot that shit down. That nigga's not real, bro.
Well, but it's funny you say that, right? So I actually, like most things that I'm feeling torn on, because, of course, when there's a point of contention with you and your wife, you are torn on it. I read and I research. And of course, we all know the nigga's not real. We know that shit. But there are studies that say that kids who believe in Santa Claus actually have greater imaginations, and they're better problem solvers for that reason. And so which leads to, as adults, the ability to say, hey, there's a possibility that we can fly to the moon. There's a possibility that we can grow grass indoors. And so that train of thought leads, as an adult, to people thinking outside the box and believing in things that are quote unquote bullshit.
I feel like there are other ways to get to it. I have a bunch of he has a bunch of men around his bed at night to protect him from the bad guys. And if the men are falling down, it's because they were up fighting all night. And he tells me, there are no bad guys real, but not serious. And I cannot get all into it. And there are other ways to do it where he kind of knows, but he's kind of like, then he starts joining in too. Instead of, I don't think, I dig it on the imagination thing, but I just think there are other ways to do it than this white guy that, I just got a problem with that shit. But to each his own. I don't think there's a wrong way. But I think you have a point, but I just think there's other ways to do it.
Yeah, and that was like, and like at the end of the day, to me, this is why I did compromise, is at the end of the day, to me, like, I grew up, when I was a kid, I believed in Santa Claus. I don't think it fucked me up. So until I see proof that it fucks people up, I just didn't, I just kind of caved in and let her do what she does. I never.
I don't know anybody is fucked up.
Right, that's what
I think it fucked society up. Shit, but then we can get off on the sign.
Yeah, but I'm saying
this old Jesus religion shit, man. You ain't know.
That's a different story.
It's the same thing.
No,
it's
the
not. Same thing.
Nah.
It's the same. These supernatural. I'm not going to these supernatural characteristics. One dude can fly. Both of them can fly. Both of them jump. I mean, it's like that shit. Tooth fairy. Shit is crazy, man.
But like you said, to each his own, because
definitely.
I ain't gonna say, like, when I say it didn't fuck me up, I'm specifically saying me. Like, I ain't saying nobody else and how it affected them. I'm saying, as like most things, politics, money, anything. Unless it affect my household, I don't give a shit about it. You know, for the most part. So when I say me, I mean specifically me. And so,
I say, yeah, no.
So I don't like. So I, you know, I didn't really promote it. I was never really like big on, hey, we got to leave cookies off us and like that kind of shit. I didn't get into. Yeah. But I wasn't like going behind her back, walking to their room like, you know, your mama full of shit, right? Santa Claus ain't real. Like, I wasn't doing that shit. You know, I let her have her fun. I don't know. It's just interesting. Like, but I do, you know, like you said, there are other ways to encourage, you know, imagination. But I'm just mentioning those studies because they were strictly in relation to Santa Claus and people who grew up believing in Santa.
What you call it, fostering imagination? Would that be a proper way? Yeah, but I agree. I just think there are other ways you can do it other than that.
But then I would ask, like, what makes one form of bullshit better than another?
Nothing. It doesn't.
And now you're calling it bullshit. I mean,
I'm saying
imagination.
No,
like
I'm using your word. You said it's bullshit, so I'm using your word. I'm saying what makes one form of bullshit better than another?
Because he knows when we knows it's not real, and the other one I'm telling you it's a real thing. Like it's like I feel like there's so many things. Again, to go back to my point, we could do a whole thing about this. But when you look at like stuff with the galaxy, you know what I mean? Stuff with like all of these different comments and all. Like, I'm looking at a lot of crazy, like Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm looking at a lot of shit.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, this shit blow your fucking mind. What's out there, and it's like how it got there, and how it got to be. We don't really need to be sitting here making up shit. We can just look up in the sky and just look at stars and think that, you know. Anyway, that's kind of where I stand on it. It's kind of like a waste of time to sit here and put energy into one thing, and when you can be looking at something else. And you know what I mean, the Grand Canyon, like, how did that get to be? You know what I mean? Just like, you know what I'm saying? There's so many things.
Absolutely.
You just look around.
I absolutely agree. Like, that's, you know, I find all that shit amazing and astonishing. But again, I think that's two different conversations, because I think as an adult and somebody who has life experience and somebody who can, like, has some kind of foundation to know at least foundationally what's going on with that stuff, and how the Grand Canyon may have been formed, all that stuff. I think that's different than a conversation with a child who's not jaded and has a full imagination, and who can basically go off into their own world based on just off of their imagination. And like, that's why I'm asking, like, and that was a real question. Like, and there's just something that popped in my head. Like, if, like, there's no different than that than us cheering for a bunch of dudes who happen to wear the same jersey that the other dudes wore 30 years ago. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, we don't cheer for players, we cheer for a jersey.
You know, really truthfully, I do this shit mostly for y'all. Then mostly, I haven't watched the entire football game from beginning to end in a couple years.
I'm saying even before that, though. I'm saying, yeah, that's what, but mostly
again,
I do too.
I didn't know any better. I spent a lot of time wasting time in sports.
Right.
A lot of fucking time. I don't do that shit anymore.
Right, and that's what it was, but you do it regardless of what reason you do it. Like, I don't watch, like, I can't watch, like, I watch Steelers games. You asked me, was I going to watch the Cowboys game yesterday? I couldn't do it. I can't sit and watch full games no more unless it's a Steelers game. But for whatever reason, why we cheer for a team or we cheer against teams or play, like, that shit's all made up. Some shit that don't affect us. It's bullshit.
I feel like you try to bring up something to try to draw select, and I'm telling you, I don't even do that. Like, I do that shit mostly, like, fucking around with y'all and shit. I don't care. Dude, years ago, I realized, like, LeBron James kind of put the cherry on it, but it was even before then, where he was like, y'all go back to y'all regular lives or some shit. I actually felt that way years before that, but he kind of like solidified. It was like I realized these niggas win or lose. My life the same. I'm gonna go to fucking.
But
you know, so that shit don't matter.
But you still invest in it. Like you watch Deontay Wilder. That's your guy. I'm just saying we all have. Like I ain't picking on you. It ain't unique to you. I'm just saying we all have.
What does this have to do with Santa Claus? Like
because
watching a fight.
Al, do you get the parallel I'm making that we all have our bullshit that we waste time with?
Call the lifeline.
I do. So I mean, basically, what you're saying is we all got shit that
we waste time
make believe that we waste our time and energy into.
Right. And that's why I'm keep drawing these parallels and trying to get metaphors because I don't think you're. I don't know if you're pretending that you don't get what I'm saying when I'm asking.
I'm dead serious.
No.
Make believe. Like
boxing is all that shit is make believe to an extent.
Okay.
You don't.
It's make believe in the sense that it matters.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like you invest emotion into it. You invest money into. Like you invest life into it. It doesn't matter. And so that's why I'm drawing these parallels is because I'm asking you, and I'm asking myself this because this is on the fly. Like, what form of bullshit is better than another?
I just think it's more of it's either our bullshit or the other bullshit. And our bullshit is a little easier to tolerate and rationalize and make sense of. Other people's bullshit looks crazy as fuck.
That's what I think
it is.
Right.
When it's the others' bullshit, whatever that others' bullshit is, it looks crazy as fuck. But when it's my bullshit and it's bullshit that I don't, hey, I'm doing it, but I'm gonna lie to myself and make it seem like it's more than it is or it's not bullshit. But at the end of the day, it's all bullshit and it stinks.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say is like.
But I think that, to me, like, I know, I mean, to your point, Key, to LeBron's point, when he said it, or even the essence of what it said, like, it's the raw facts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's raw. I'm not arguing with it. I can't call him a liar.
Nah.
But at the same time, I know that and still want to watch the game. I get it.
Right.
You right. But I still want to watch it. I like entertainment in my life. I like being able to escape and make believe for a second and just get out of the reality of my own life. And then I can come back.
Yeah. That's all I was asking because, I mean, essentially we like people to have bullshit to entertain them. Otherwise, we wouldn't have people to listen to our show. So, so thank God for bullshit and bullshit to talk about. It's just a question. But, I don't know. So, Al, are you and your wife exchanging gifts this year?
Yeah. We try to every year give each other a gift.
Okay. Do you still have requests on what you want, or she just pretty much?
We actually, I would love to do it like that. No. But the gift giving thing, I tend to, what's the word? Kind of allow her to take the lead and stuff because it matters more to her than to me. I would love for it to be that easy to where I could just give you a list and you give me a list and we just gonna knock it out. But for her, part of the magic of it is kind of buying a gift for a person, thinking this would be good for them. Like trying to, I know he would appreciate this, as opposed to me just saying, "Yo, get me some socks."
Right.
So, yeah, we do. And sometimes I hit a bullseye and sometimes more often than not, actually. Whiff.
Yeah. Woof. It's the nature of the beast.
Whiff.
It's amazing how little you know somebody when it's time to buy them a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Keon, you and your wife exchanging gifts?
Nah, not really. This is a different thing. Like, I got money, so I can get what I want, and she's the same way. So we buy the shit all throughout the year, and it's just kind of like we doing other shit though. Like maybe go somewhere. Like a couple weeks we went to fucking Miami. You know what I mean? Just went. I think I told you about this shit, but just doing shit like that. Just doing shit. Not really. Nah, not really.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I said, like this is the first year that like my kids are like like blatantly like fuck Santa Claus, like they so like we known that shit since last Christmas.
Yeah.
So they was really like have fallout conversations like, look, man, we know this dude ain't real. Last couple years we just been pretending because mommy likes the shit. So this is the first year where we like there's no like even she's just like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. So and then me and my wife usually we exchange gifts, but the fun is always around the kids. But as they get older, the fun goes out of it because they just tell you what they want and they know what they're getting anyway, pretty much. So this year, my wife was like, "So what do you want for Christmas?" I've never been like a big like requester or been picky about shit. So, a couple months ago, I bought my wife a car for her birthday, and then a couple weeks ago, I bought myself a car. For Christmas.
What kind of car you got? What kind of car you got?
Maxima.
All right.
Really just because I got tired. I put like 3 Gs in my old car in the last 6 months. And I was like, I'm not trying to be stuck on nobody's highway on the side of the road. And my wife kind of pushed me over the edge. She was like, you never do anything for yourself. Go do something for yourself. And I went and bought a fucking car. So like you said, like it's just stuff that like we do for each other throughout the year. So when she asked me what I wanted, I was like, I need some floor mats for my car. I like sometimes like the dealership they'll give you the bullshit floor mats and they just stand. And so I was like, I need some floor mats for my car. So she was like, that's boring as fuck. If you know my wife, you know how that sounded. So and I told you that. So when she was like, why don't we do 12 Days of Christmas? I was like, what do you mean?
Oh, yeah.
She was like, just to keep it interesting. She was like, the kids are boring now. She was like, this shit, you want fucking floor mats? Like, this shit is boring. Like, let's do 12 Days of Christmas. And she was like, even like, we'll start off small. Whether it's like your favorite candy you start off with, just, we'll get each other a gift every day for 12 days before Christmas. I was like, all right, that sounds fun. So this shit's been fun as hell. And I know, Keon, you say it's too much pressure, but it's not because it's really just small shit leading up to your real gift. So, like first day I got her like turtles and chocolate covered pretzels, and she getting me like keychains and little bullshit, shit for my car. Like, but it's fun just because it keeps you on your toes every day. So that's, and I say that because I don't know if like I've just been hearing different ideas from people and different couples do it. This lady that I work with, she was like, yeah, we don't even exchange gifts. We just give each other a pass to go buy what we want, within reason.
God.
Right.
Sounds like prison, man. What the do? You got to ask permission to buy something, yo?
Well, I guess.
It might be a budget thing.
Right,
It might be a thing where they saving money.
Right.
They're trying to be
or something
disciplined.
that you don't even need. Like, something that you just splurging on. And I get that. Like, I don't know. Like, throughout the year, like, of course, like when it comes Christmas time for us, it's different than it's been in the like. I'm making more money than I've ever made in my life, so I'm able to do more throughout the year, other than like wait to Christmas and be like, I really want this. If I want it, I just go get it, basically.
Go get it, yeah.
But I do get that, there are still things that if I walked in the house, like if I just out the blue showed up with a fucking car in May, it would be different than saying, yo, this is my Christmas gift to myself. So I get that. So yeah, I do get that, I don't think it's like prison because, there are things that people say, I really want this. I know I don't need it, but that's your permission. Like no questions asked. You go get what you want. So I get that.
I'm actually a very simple person. I don't like Christmas for the gift giving because I've seen people like in my family. What I like about it is I got a huge family, like over 100 something people, and like I've been tasked. I volunteered to cook a turkey. I ain't never cooked a turkey in my fucking life, and I got to do this tomorrow.
You got instruction. You got to fry it or smoke it.
I've been YouTubing like a motherfucker, dog. I was going to fry it, but that's too complicated, so I'm just going to put it in the oven. You know what I'm saying? It's a 22-pound turkey. Right. You say don't do that.
Nah, man.
I don't know how to do that, bro. I don't know how to do smoking or frying. And this is so.
You gotta smoke. You got a grill, like a real grill.
I'm going to South Carolina. My mama grill's not in good shape.
Okay.
Plus, everybody, like not everybody, but multiple members of my family are like 400 pounds. I'm exaggerating, but that's kind of like in the area. Yeah. So the motherfuckers are expert eaters. And if this shit ain't right, they gonna talk shit. And if the worst kind of talking shit, I can take it to my face. They'll talk shit behind your back.
So throw that shit in the oven.
Right, yeah. So how you throwing it in the oven?
I'm YouTubing. So I got all the directions. I'm gonna rub it down, clean it, pull the giblets out, squirt some shit under the skin. I don't know, bro. I'm just following the directions.
So yeah, so all that, however they tell you to season it, do all that shit, but put that shit in a bag.
Okay.
Put it in one of them baker's bags.
Turkey bag, right?
A turkey bag.
Get it out of the Kroger or any supermarket.
I'll do that tomorrow.
That way, because what's the number one complaint you hear about a turkey in the oven? That shit's dry as fuck. So that'll avoid it from being.
Turkey bag will solve that.
Right.
But my point is, that's what I love about it. All the families getting together. I've seen the nasty side of it where people will like shower my son with gifts.
Yeah.
What it really is, you're wanting in the Dubai you shit, or you know what I mean, like. And this what can I get you for Christmas? I don't want. I tell you what I really want. What I was going to say when we, I run through underwear because I work out. I run and I run through underwear. You know, get holes in it. Underwear, like that's like so bold, right? But that's really like $12. Nah, they want me to say some crazy, so I can buy them crazy. It's like it's people. Right. And in February, everybody broke. You paying off Christmas.
Exactly.
Christmas
and
credit.
And then everybody ready to get their taxes back so they can recover.
That's crazy.
So it's crazy when I first, my wife first got married. We're in, most of her family was in Georgia, so we would go to her sister's house, for Christmas most of the time, and like all her cousins and shit like that. So, if you've been with them so long, the kids become adults. They have kids. And so after like her nieces and a couple of her nieces and cousins, they got grown and had kids. I was like, why the fuck are we still buying these adults gifts? They got kids now. You know what I'm saying? Like but they didn't get it. So I was like, so who gets to decide what adult gets gifts? Just because I met this person when they were a kid, they get to get gifts till they 30? Like, nah, they have a child. That's not how
that works.
Right. When you have a kid, your kid gets your gifts.
Now, here's what I do. This is what I do. I get like lotion. I get socks. I got like, I went to Bath Beyond, Brad, I can't even say that shit.
For who? Like cousins and shit?
My aunts and cousins. I spent like $87 for like a bunch of soap and, shit they sell there. Yeah. And that's why I get everybody, you get a soap. You get a soap. You get, then socks. Somebody gets. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
But
this is that's what it's supposed to be like. I'm thinking about you, kind of thing.
Yeah. My thing is when once you have a kid, your kid gets the gift.
Okay. So no soap from me.
Hell nah. You know, soap from me.
Yeah, I'm not.
You
I'm
buy
not
your own
really
damn
into
soap. You're a
giving
parent.
adults gifts. I'm not really into giving adults gifts.
Right.
I do it.
Unless it's
but
like,
this to me is hard. Like
Like,
you each his own.
You get your own fucking soap. You're a dad.
If Santa Claus ain't gonna give you a gift, I ain't giving you no gift.
All right.
Right.
It's $1. Spend $1. I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I pour you a drink.
All right.
Now I do that now.
Right. I pour you a drink. Smoke your turkey.
I will feed
Damn right. Yeah. You come eat. No, you won't. Nah. But yeah, man. All that to say, happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, and to each his own, because everybody got their own way.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. And most of all, be safe, have fun, eat too much, drink too much, indulge yourself. And
let's
enjoy
bring
your
in
family.
2020.
Right.
And the police gonna be out. I know in
Hell
Atlanta
yeah.
talking that saying South Carolina.
Right. And as y'all, like, I love that our listeners are always privy to our decisions on this show. Are we doing a show next week?
I'll be available. I'll be in Atlanta. I'll be back there.
Yeah.
Because next week is on New Year's Eve.
New Year's, yeah. So.
Ooh, I mean, I could do that Monday again.
Yeah, let's do Monday.
We'll do Monday. All right, Monday works.
Cause now I'm meeting now at Washington night meeting.
Where we meeting at?
Yeah, he ain't from the South, man. Washington night meeting, man.
No.
What the hell is that?
That's when you go to church. Like
some
people
shit.
go like 8 at night. Some go like 10.
Yeah.
But they call it.
And what's it called?
Washington night meeting. That's in the South.
Yeah.
I guess to say it slow is watch the night meeting, but it's Washington.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you sound real Manning-ish right there.
You get to see
country. Right?
You get to see Jesus and the ball drop, all that stuff.
No,
I'm joking. Yeah, I know. I know, man. I'm a heathen. I was about to say Jesus ball drop, but that didn't sound right, and I caught myself in the middle of it. But yeah. So we'll go through New Year's stuff next week then.
So Al, you're not going to Washington next. I'm just trying to be clear. So you're not going.
Nah, I'm down for doing something else, but you're not gonna find me
like,
in church on New Year's.
No, sir.
I'm just saying.
So speaking of the holidays, a little bit of house cleaning. We did have our Defy Life Gear giveaway, holiday giveaway, for anyone who entered on social media. And we do have a winner, Mr. Robert Anduzzi, or Anduz, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it correctly, of Independent Artist Magazine. So congratulations, Robert. You are the winner of a Defy Life sweatshirt, t-shirt, and you chose the coffee mug over the beanie hat. So the sweatshirt, the t-shirt, and the coffee mug are yours. You'll be getting that soon. And also there is a holiday sale going on right now on DefyLifeGear.com. All sweatshirts and hoodies are on sale, so go check those out. So so we're gonna get straight into the listener questions. We
okay.
Gonna skip the news tidbits. Just keep it 100. I'm fucking tired. And
I'm with you.
I ain't trying to be on here till 1 in the morning. So no news today. We just got a listener question. So our first listener question is from Carrie from Greensboro, North Carolina. Keon, I'll start with you.
Okay.
What's your favorite holiday or Christmas movie and why?
Man, this is not even a fucking tie question or nothing. That shit, nigga, Bad Santa. I can look at that shit over.
Really?
Matter of fact, soon as we get off here, you just park my mind. I'm gonna look at that shit tonight. I love that shit, boy. Bad Santa.
Oh, wow. That's all right.
I love it. And number 2 ain't that bad, but Bad Santa 1 is the best.
Yeah, Bad Santa was funny as shit. All right.
Bad Santa was funny.
Yeah. All right. Al, what about you? What's your favorite holiday or Christmas movie?
So I wish I had thought Bad Santa because that's a good one. Because I really can't think of a movie that really is about Christmas, about the holidays that I really, really, really like. Like I tend not to get into those holiday type movies. I like the movies that just kind of have Christmas in the background.
Right.
So that being said, I think Planes, Trains, Automobiles.
I never saw that.
Steve Martin and John Candy.
Right.
They just trying to get home for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite one.
Hey, can I ask you a question? I watched Die Hard the other night. I think
that's a Christmas movie. Yeah.
Yep. I like that one too.
You would put that above. You would put Trains, Planes above Die Hard.
I would put as a movie. I would probably put Die Hard above Planes, Trains, Automobile. But I think Planes, Trains, Automobile has more to do with Christmas. It's a little more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard is. But I still think both of them was really, really good movies. Though.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I have to go with A Christmas Story being a close second.
Yeah.
I gotta go Home Alone. Home Alone's my favorite Christmas movie.
I ain't seen that in a long. I need to watch it again.
I don't know if I've ever watched it all the way through.
Really?
From beginning to end. Okay.
I watched that shit last night.
I'm gonna watch it again to see what I saw.
Yeah. Like I don't usually, because this time of year it's on somewhere all the time. So I don't even have to go search for it. If I see it on, I'll just watch it. So I watched it last night. It was on.
I saw an interview with Macaulay Culkin. He's still rich and he's chilling off that series. I'm saying, but by now a lot of cats have spent that money.
Yeah. Well, shit, he did that. Well, his parents did at one point. His parents blew his money, but of course with all the replaying of the movie, yeah, he did sue him. I don't know if he got everything back, but he recouped a lot of his money.
He's rich though. He's rich in the sense he don't have to work. He don't got to do nothing.
Yeah.
He said he bought a condo in like the 90s in New York for like, I don't know, a couple $100,000, and now it's worth like many multiples over that. He still has it. So it's like, anyway.
If shit get too bad, he just.
What you saying?
If shit get too bad.
You
sell a damn condo.
Right.
Hey, that's when shit is going bad. When you hear he done sold his condo.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Sound like OJ sell his Heisman. Shit done went bad.
Shit done went bad.
Man. Did he sell it or did they take? I thought they took it in Vegas. Somebody took it.
Nah,
I think he was trying to sell it and then they stole it.
Oh, okay.
Right. I know a couple dudes that sold their Heismans or their Super Bowl.
I was watching last night. What's his name? Not last, but 2 nights ago. Rashaan Salam.
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
No, I didn't. He dead, right?
Yeah, but he sold it.
Oh yeah, I do remember him selling it before he passed. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know. Well, thank you, Kerry. Like you said, I really don't get into like I think what was it? The Best Man 2, Best Man Holiday.
Can't look at that.
Like I think, I watched it, but I think the part about it that made it the worst part about it was Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Like it would have just been cool if it was just a movie. I think they tried too hard to make it about Christmas. I don't know. But
I think all these movies are the same. So hold on, is this the one they went to the it was what's the singer? She was overweight, and they went up in. Is that
Jill
it?
Scott?
Jill Scott. Is she in that? And they went up in the they was in a cabin or something.
No, that's not it. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about what's this? Why Did I Get Married?
Oh, okay. I thought that was
Best Man.
That's Christmas too.
I don't think so.
Okay, well,
I just know the Best Man. Of course, Best Man 1 was came out in that era when every fucking movie had Morris Chestnut and Taye Diggs and Gabrielle. It was. So of course.
I like Best Man though. I ain't gonna lie. I like that.
Yeah, the Best Man was good.
Yeah, I like Best Man.
Best Man 2 wasn't bad. It was the Best Man Holiday. I keep calling it Best Man 2. It wasn't bad. Okay. It was just that, I don't really get into Christmas themed movies like that. But of course, it had the same cast as the first one, which, the first cast was just from that era when every black movie had Morris Chestnut and Taye Diggs in it. But yeah. So I don't know.
So you saying you don't got Hallmark Channel on repeat right now?
Unfortunately, I don't. Damn, I wish I did. No, I don't actually. But yeah, thank you, Gary. Our next question is from Damien in Lexington, South Carolina. Oh God. All right, so Al, Damien wants to know who is in line to become the next best player in the NBA after LeBron, or who is it now if LeBron isn't?
So, I got Kawhi as the best player in the NBA.
Kawhi Leonard.
And then I have Giannis as the guy who's trying to take the title. So I think this year Giannis is really trying to establish himself as the best player. But I think the guy who came into the season with it is Kawhi. And so yeah, that's what I'm going. But I think Giannis is playing the best right now. I think but just because you're playing the best, that don't make you, to me, the best player. You gotta, some earning it. Yeah, some shit that you gotta earn that role, that title. So yeah, for me it's Kawhi, but Giannis is and I think he's close, and I think he's about to take it for a while. You know,
talking about Giannis, right? Yeah,
when
yeah.
Giannis takes it, he's gonna have it for a good bit.
8 years or some shit. Yeah.
All right, Keon, what about you? Who's the best player if it's not LeBron, and if it is LeBron, who's next?
I got a problem with the Kawhi thing, but not the big problem. My only problem is the load management. I think that's almost, in my opinion, that disqualifies you in a way. I would put Giannis there. And well, that was the question, right? Who if not LeBron, probably Giannis, and then I would say Bron, but Giannis is like right on his heels. Like, let me say one thing too. I didn't know that Bron. I've remembered now, but he hurt his groin last Christmas. So I'm thinking, oh shit! Like he's now hearing rumors of these little injuries he got now. It's almost like, oh man, could this be happening again? You know what I mean? So I thought it was later in the season last year when he got hurt, but
I thought it was too.
Yeah, it was right around Christmas because he came back.
No, it was the Christmas Day game, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm guessing what I'm saying is this could be, and then he's not doing load management; he's playing all the time.
Right.
So anyway, I ain't going to go off on that, but I'm just saying I would put LeBron, but these little things are starting to, these are troubling, and then. So anyway, Bron and then Giannis is like right there. Probably pass him within the next month or two or something crazy. I don't know, but that's my answer.
Yeah, I'm with you, Keon. I think the excessive load management, when you miss 25% of the games, I think that disqualifies you because I think that's part of earning it. I think.
Yeah.
You know,
I can hit that. I respect that.
I ain't like these old school cats who like you got to play all 82. Nah, I get you play 75 games.
75, yeah.
All right. And I'm with you also, Keon. When like LeBron's like an alien, you know, performing like this at 34.
But
and for somebody who went to the finals 8 straight years. That's a lot of basketball. Yeah. And so to now, like you start to see these, and for somebody who never gets hurt, when they get nicked up, it's a big deal, you know. Yeah. And so I will still say LeBron's the best player in the league, just because, and I'm with you, Al, I think it's part of having to earn it. I do think the Lakers and the Bucks will meet in the finals.
Okay.
I think that'll be Giannis's turn to earn that mantle.
So you think the Clippers don't scare you?
I mean, only one team out of each conference can make it. That's just the one I'm picking. I'm picking the Lakers.
Okay.
I ain't saying the Clippers are not good. They're very good. Only thing that concerns me about Giannis is will he ever develop a consistent jump shot?
It looks like he's doing it now. Like he hitting threes, like shot like 40 threes.
But it still ain't consistent. Like he hit 5 against the Lakers the other night, but then he'll go stretches where he don't attempt them, or he'll go 0 for 7 over 2 games. Like he's still not consistent.
Yeah.
And so there's the same thing we said about Bron early in his career. So it can be done. Yeah. It's just you know, and we want to keep seeing that progression. But I'm with y'all. Like if it's anybody. And shit, if the Clippers do win and Kawhi is the lead dog, like right now, most nights he ain't even the best player on that team.
He chilling.
Right.
Chilling till April.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if he turns it back up in playoff time and they win another championship like on his shoulders, I consider that too. But
I hate that. Let me say this. This is what I hate. I really hope that will happen, because if that happens, I think he's going to change the whole league, and it's going to be the thing now. Like lower management is going to be the thing. If they get beat, then I think there's a possibility. It could still be the thing, but I think there's a possibility teams are going to be like, nah, we're not going to do that. You know what I mean? But if they win a title, then I think that's just going to be he's going to single-handedly change the league. Maybe not single-handedly, because other people are doing it too, right?
Well, so not to that extent. But it's crazy because remember when LeBron would do that, and LeBron would take 4 games off a year, and people went nuts,
killing him. Yeah,
like oh, what if a kid comes to the game and they don't get his? Like people went nuts for LeBron for missing a game like once every 2 months, and like, Kawhi's really literally missing 1 out of every 4 games, and like,
I mean, I think LeBron, it might have primed the culture, the reporters, the conversation, to the point that, I mean, he's definitely pushed the envelope, and maybe people aren't reacting the way they definitely did with LeBron. And I mean, I've heard some of the pushback. I mean, I've heard people talk about, like, as the new contract comes up, are they going to, bring this up in the conversation because people are feeling like they're getting cheated when they're paying for a ticket thinking so-and-so is going to be there. And in some cities, that is how they promote you to come to that game. Like, if you go into a Hawk game, you're going to hear a commercial that's talking about, come see Giannis.
That's right.
Right.
Come see Kawhi. And Trey.
Right.
I got two things. Oh, yeah, and by the way, Trey, like, but I got 2 things on that. One, I think LeBron James, to your point out, has been a trailblazer, jumping from team to team. Like, he kind of, and the sitting with Jay, you saying he's kind of like the first guy through the door going to catch hell, and then the guys come out.
LeBron wasn't the first, though, because the Spurs started it. Like, the Spurs were the first ones to start load management.
But they were old. Like, it was. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you, but you could almost. Like, they were like 17 years. I'm hearing numbers like, Tim Duncan was in the league for a long 15 years or something. Yeah, when I'm talking about when they was doing that, when they were starting to do that. It wasn't like they were, first year, second year guys.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or even fifth year guys. But anyway, my other point is to I fucking forgot. So it doesn't matter anymore. I'm sorry. Something about LeBron, I don't remember.
Well, yeah, but you're right, though.
I'll say another thing that probably was the impact was the fact that LeBron is such a big draw.
Right.
So, like, I think the marketing, the promotion, the branding of the NBA is connected to LeBron. Where it really wasn't connected to the Spurs in that way. So it's one thing for the Spurs to not show up. And if you're a pure basketball fan, you're going to be mad that you didn't see Ginobili. But when you're building the whole marketing concept around the LeBron at that time, for him not to show up on any date, especially on tip of, I just rest. It's not that I'm hurt. I'm just resting.
Yeah.
Yo, I paid $150 for this ticket, B. What you mean you resting?
Right. And
I want to see you out on the court.
Right. And the irony of it all is now would be the time for Bron to consider some low management.
He's throwing shots at Kawhi now.
Right.
Which is, but I remember the second point I was gonna make, and it's a question. I don't know how can they put that in the labor agreement. How can you say, like, good I don't question. Know how you can do it. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess they could kind of take the NFL's route. Is you'd have to go to an official injury report, and if the guy's not on the injury report, you got folks to answer to if they don't play. And if they catch you lying, putting fake injuries out there, then you got folks to answer to.
Fine you.
Right.
Okay.
The Patriots way.
Right. Yeah. I think, though, this is going to have to be more, what's the word? Salt, no, sugar. Sugar than salt. Like, it's just going to have to be more like trying to. They tried that, though. It's like with the get rid of the back-to-back and spreading it out, and they're still doing it. I don't know. Yeah. I'm thinking out loud right now ways to do it. But
and now they're talking about putting a tournament in the middle of the season and all crazy shit.
I see that.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell is that.
$1 million per player.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't like it. But
I would like it if. So my idea was just blow the whole league up, but like no. I mean, I'm thinking like, what if we was to bring people from outside the league, like I don't know, Big Three, or I don't know, like Rucker guys that couldn't make it through college for other reasons, playing against NBA guys or something. I would watch that. Maybe I would. I don't know.
I would watch it like maybe once a year.
Yeah, that's what we talking about, right? The tournament.
Yeah, I'm talking about one game a year.
Oh,
like, because even then, like, most of the dudes in the the 3-on-3, the big three.
They old. Yeah,
they old and they former NBA players.
Yeah, trying to get back in the league.
Right.
Yeah. Well, how about the world? Well, no, we already got the Olympics and the other shit.
Yeah, it's really tough. I don't know. And then most of the dudes trying to get to the NBA are in the G League.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think he has a tough job. What's his name?
Yeah, David Silver.
That guy, David Silver. He got a tough job.
And speaking of which, man, speaking of commissioners, David Stern is pretty sick. So prayers go out to David Stern, man. I think his contributions to where we know the NBA is right now were huge. So,
wow.
Yeah. So,
I'm just pulling this. Like, say surrounded by loved ones, so it don't look good.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
So prayers up for David Stern. I think he's officially the Commissioner Emeritus. What they call him.
What's that mean?
I don't know. It sounds important as fuck though.
Okay.
Yeah. I just know I've heard that term before. Where they have like Professor Emeritus at the college. I guess it's somebody who's moved on, but they still have like
professor status.
Right.
You'll always be a professor here.
Right. Exactly.
We have Google. Of the former holder of an office, especially by a college professor, having retired but allowed to retain their title as an honor.
Okay. Yeah. So, see, we smart.
I mean, I can read good.
Right. No, I mean that's pretty much what we said. We deducted that reasoning. Yeah. So but damn good question, Damien. It's funny. Kevin Durant gets hurt, and this question is not as contentious as it would have been before.
If Durant had not been hurt, yeah.
Now, we'd be arguing if Kevin Durant was still.
I don't know, because I think it's like I wouldn't, because like what were we just talking about? We wasn't recording. But we saying like the top 5. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you pulling strings. I mean, not pulling strings. But you know what I mean? It's like
picking
Durant.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like I wouldn't have given you a hard time. Now you would have come out and say something like, Dak Prescott, the best quarterback in the league or something. I might have been like,
well, hold on. We ain't got to that part yet.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to change the subject. I'm just saying something that would get my nuts in the bunch.
Like when you said, like Joel Embiid was the best player in the league. Like
I would have a problem with that.
Right. Exactly. I don't know. So, speaking of NFL, I'm going to ask you all the same question I ask you every week. Keon, you said it's starting to heat up. I hope it's starting to heat up. We only got a week left. What do you know, Al, from Week 16 in the NFL?
Well, I mean, from the beginning, this season has been one of, like, things that you didn't expect happen. So it's kind of like from the beginning, we've kind of come into the season really accepting the fact that there's just a lot of shit you don't know about what you think you know. Like that's kind of really been the theme as we go into this NFL last final week. But I think specifically, before I even get to the boys, let me say one thing I know, that Jameis Winston and interceptions go hand in hand.
Yes, sad.
And
sad.
Right, for somebody playing for opportunity to be a franchise quarterback, and either there or somewhere else, like he gotta take care of the ball better than that, man. That's just not acceptable, and it is looking unlikely that he'll be back. That's kind of what I'm thinking. The other thing, let me shout out my Jets, man. They got a big win this week and
they did.
Beat the Steelers, and just it's so different how a year can make it, because last year this time I would have never wanted the Jets to win a game. I'm kind of hoping I'm thinking draft choice, draft pick, go on and lose the game, but like for some reason I like that they winning, and I think they're showing, coming from 1-7, that a new coach. This is real different, and that's just got a different feel about it from one year to the next, which is good. Now, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Because, man, every week they have been consistently inconsistent. And that's just the frustrating thing about watching this squad, man. It's just that every week you don't know what you're going to get. I was hopeful because I thought we had the better team, but the coaching is inconsistent. The Dak was off again, and he's.
I got to interrupt. What about the drop passes, man?
I didn't get to there yet. I didn't get to that yet. But there was about a month or so ago, or 2 months ago, whatever. I was talking about Cam and how inaccurate Cam Newton is as a quarterback. He reminded me of Cam Newton yesterday, like to where he was overthrowing people. He was not throwing. Yeah, that's what I saw. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I see as an inaccurate quarterback. And then when he was on point, to go to Key's interruption,
multiple.
Jason Witten, Mari Cooper, Gallup, Cobb, these people was just not helping. And so you wonder, you use the word clutch,
Choke.
like where was that clutch performance? You didn't see it. And that's just what, I don't know, I think that's what Jerry Jones is facing right now, like really assessing his team consistently, that the fact that we haven't beat teams that are above 500 is because we haven't been able to make the plays at the end of the game to win the game. We've been there, we fought back, but a lot of times we're not doing what it takes to, make that final play. Play after, it might be a play call, it might be a drop pass, it might be an overthrown pass, it might be a penalty, or whatever. It's going to be something.
Having Amari Cooper on the sideline when you need the third. I mean, everybody was fucking up, man.
What was the explanation of having him on the sideline?
I haven't seen it yet. Have you seen it?
The only thing I heard was that it was just like the rotation. Like it was just them monitoring his, and they would just take it in and out, taking them in and out. There was just the rotation of the receivers. And they should have called timeout, like to give them a breather. I mean, it was just like, yeah. I mean, and even on the play calling, man, just like we're 3rd and 1 and we're like passing, and it's just like, I know, this is a passing league, but when you got Ezekiel Elliott, like, you're just trying to get the first down, man, and then let's keep trying to push down the field. Just people trying to do too much, and from coaching to players, there's just a lot to answer for. So what I know is that change is in the air unless a miracle happens. And like, even with some of the contracts that people was talking about at the beginning of the season, like at this point, if I'm I mean, you still want Dak, you still want Amari on your team, but
that's it.
Damn if they haven't. I mean, they really haven't demonstrated. And I know at this in the league, you don't really got to demonstrate it to get that contract. But I would have liked to see more growth at this point of the season with them. But
you only got one franchise tag, so they're kind of sitting in power positions right now. Both.
Yeah, but they ain't going nowhere. One of them gonna get signed, and the other might get franchised. I mean, I think.
But
I think Jerry gonna keep both of them.
They could tag team. They could tag team this, like, if they thinking like that, because like play hardball is what I'm saying, and do it together. Because then you gotta have to pay. You gonna end up losing somebody. You see what I'm saying? Because you only got one franchise tag and you got two players.
But they don't have to take no discounts. I mean, you don't have to get no discounts, and I'm not telling them to take a discount. But at the same time, if you're trying to stay, if y'all are both trying to stay, playing hardball isn't.
Well, why stay for what? Stay for what? Like I mean, like different. Like, what are we trying to do? We're trying to get rich, and you ain't necessarily win no Super Bowl. I mean, like, what are we staying for? What am I?
How you know they're not winning the Super Bowl? And
Dallas,
you can still get rich.
It's Dallas. I
mean, you say Dallas like it's the equivalent of Atlanta. Like Atlanta's the team that hasn't won any Super Bowls. Dallas has Super Bowls in their history. Now, if you were saying don't bet on the Falcons getting into to win the Super Bowl, I get it. That makes sense to me because they haven't won a Super Bowl. But if I'm saying it's the Cowboys, you could make like an argument that we do because we've done it in the past. So now it's like maybe it's a cyclical type thing. Atlanta can't bank on that. They just been sorry. They haven't won it at all.
First of all, I ain't say nothing about Atlanta. We talking about Dak, and we talking about
we talking about Dallas. I was just trying to correct. I guess I don't understand where they're saying this Dallas they can't win a Super Bowl. They've done that.
No, I'm saying like if I'm age,
I thought you would have said that about the Falcons.
I wish I was at age. No, the Falcons pay their players. They would make both of them the highest paid players in the league, and I would not be scratching my fucking head.
Yeah, but they pay the wrong players though.
Well, I mean, I'm saying that's what they would do. Amari would be the highest paid receiver, and Dak would be the highest paid quarterback, and they would just move on.
They probably wouldn't have money to keep them because they paying people like Beasley.
They're not playing. See, you don't know your Falcon history. They're not paying Beasley. They paid the highest paid people are Freeman. And why are we talking? We're supposed to be talking about the Cowboys. Freeman, Julio, Matt. Those are the three highest paid. And yeah, it's totally throwing me off. That's how somebody changed the conversation and put you in on defense. But what I was going to say,
go ahead. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet. Yeah.
Jay, I remember with Jay Gruden. Remember when Josh Norman first got to the Redskins and they were playing against the Giants and they had Odell Beckham Jr. came in that week, and he had a defense that was so set in stone that Josh Norman is like on the opposite side of the field from Odell Beckham, and he was like, "That's just the way the defense was set." Whatever. Like when you said about Amari Cooper, that's what my mind goes to. Right. A coach that just has a system that's so set in stone that you're not gonna if your system is that way, you need to be coaching in college, man, or high school. You don't do that against the top tier teams in the league. You're not top. Bill Belichick would switch everything around, and that don't even work against like Saban or like the top tier college team. That makes no sense to me. The drop balls. I ain't want to bash on the Cowboys. I was rooting for them yesterday. I really was. I don't envy Jerry Jones's position because who do you blame? You know.
I think when you can't fire the team, so you got to fire the coach. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's like, who do you blame? You blame everybody because everybody's to blame. But I think the changes start with if this is what the season looks like, we don't make it into the playoffs, then the coach is the one you got to go. But to Jay's point though, I think. Who do you blame? Whoever's making the ultimate decision has to assume some of the blame too, and that's Jerry Jones and his brain trust. Because to me, what I see as a big part of what played out this year is the young play callers, and on offense and defense, we got a first year play caller on offense. A second-year play caller on defense.
You talking about the coaches?
The coaches, the offensive and the offensive coordinator Kellen Moore and the defensive coordinator Chris Richard. And I think they talented, and I think they both bring a lot to the table. But I think also when you match up though against veteran play callers, I just think you make a difference.
But see,
I think that's hurt us this season.
I can't disagree with that. But one thing I'd say, like, it feels like this is one of the most talented rosters in the league, you would think.
Mm-hmm.
So isn't that Jerry Jones?
That is him.
So he did his job, right?
Well,
and then, but it's. I think the talent's there, but I think to what I would critique the decision making is what I just said about the coaching. The play call, the players. I think we are a very talented team and have withstood some injuries and still had the depth to keep good players on the field. But I would really look at. But see, the thing is, I'm not a big believer on just change just to change, right? But at this point, Garrett has been there 9 seasons. And if I could find a better option out there, yeah, he's been out there. He's been there that long. If I could find a better option, I would definitely look at it.
I was so excited to watch that game, and then my wife called me and said she's sick. Come home. Like, God damn it. So I watched like the fucking second quarter, and last of the fourth quarter. So, but I ain't missed much, so it was all good.
Yeah,
man, we got to be able to score, and Dak got to play better.
Dak, man, I'm taking up for Dak, man. Dak did not play, like Aaron Rodgers in his prime, but he was putting that ball where it was catchable, and the guys were just dropping it. I put more on the drops, man. If maybe two of those drops,
like I put it on all of them, right? Because for me, like what makes the difference between the quarterbacks who go deep into the playoffs and the ones who don't are the ones who don't miss when you got a chance to take somebody. Like when you got a chance to make a big play, they don't overthrow that pass. They don't underthrow that pass. They hit the dude in stride and they take them 7 points. Like,
I saw that too.
Right, there was 2 or 3 chances where he missed them. Right,
yeah,
that was it. That was the play. That's the one where we catch up and you underthrew it. You overthrew it. Like you don't get too many of those every game. You might get 3, 4, 5 of those, and if you hit them, you winning. And when you're not.
What happened to Zeke?
He had an okay game. But he didn't get to run it as much as I think he could have. But I bet you he was averaging about 5-6 yards a carry.
I didn't see that. I saw he was 4 yards for -1. At the time I left for my emergency, it was 4 carries for -1 yards in the first half. If I'm correct,
I'm gonna pull up the stats.
That's what I'm doing now. Talking slow.
But I think the two things stand out to me. Like you said, Keon, like that team, as talented as they are, that team is just so robotic. It's almost like I remember, like when Dick LeBeau was still the defensive coordinator for the Steelers, and the Patriots were just killed. Like his defense was historically great. He came up with with the zone blitz defense. But as the Patriots got better, Tom Brady would just pick it apart all the time.
You change it up, right?
And he would never change it up.
Yeah.
Because it works against the other 30 teams in the league.
Uh-huh.
But when it got to the upper echelon team and you go against the Patriots, like you would always say, we're gonna do what we do, and that's what Dallas is. They do what they do. They don't change up much. And then the other thing that sticks out to me is it's a bunch of talented individuals. That team doesn't play for each other though. Like,
they don't play
complementary football. I don't even know if it's a like thing. Maybe it's a respect thing. I don't know, but it's something missing there. You're right.
Have you seen a couple of weeks ago? Jason Garrett, like with the shaking people's hand, dudes just walk
right.
Walk
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. And like the reason I say you blame Jerry.
I put that on Jerry.
This is what, because I think he does a good job of, because people want to play for the Cowboys. It's not hard to sell people on playing for the Cowboys. Or staying around to play for the Cowboys. So that's why I think what Al said, like, people will stick around to play. There's certain franchises in all the sports that people want to play for. Cowboys is one of them. But I think Jerry, what's his son's name, Steven, it's a family business.
Yeah.
And like most family businesses, their scope is really small. So like if it's a family supermarket, they're not going to go search for the next manager. They're going to hire the assistant manager who's been there for 20 years. They're going to promote that guy. They're not going to do a search through a headhunter or through a recruiter. They're going to hire the people they know. And that's exactly what Jerry does, is instead of doing a universal search, he hires people in-house. The offensive coordinator leaves, we're going to hire the quarterbacks coach, Kellen Moore, and make him the offensive coordinator.
See,
and
the
never
thing.
Search.
The only time you criticize that though is when it don't work. Like if it works, then you be like, man, they this is the Steeler way. I shouldn't have said. But I ain't trying to get you. Rub your.
But I'm saying in that doesn't work anymore. As I'm saying, it's outdated. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm saying it's outdated because like there are so many like great minds of football that the chances of you finding those great minds in your room all the time is slim to none. So unless you start doing these like real deep dives and universal searches for coaching talent, you go end up with the same ideology and the same culture that you already have, because those people have been steeped in that culture. And not only are they coaches who've been there for a while that you're promoting, most of them are former players who were there and then they became. So it's like that culture is just so deep rooted that nothing changes. So I think that kind of bleeds over into game plans. And when you say it's the receiver, like it's just his time to be on the bench in the last play of the game. Like no, like those are the times where like there has to be some kind of innovation of somebody to step up and say, no, this dude need to be in the game. And I think that's a microcosm of how that organization's run, is that people are so afraid of saying anything against Jerry that he's kind of created a culture where what he says usually goes, and when it doesn't, it's because he chose for it not to.
I think Tony.
I mean, at the end of the day, I can't. You know, the results speak for themselves. So it's like I can't argue with you because something ain't working. So I don't know what ain't working, but what you said make a lot of sense. But it's a whole lot of things that make a lot of sense because at the end of the day, motherfuckers not showing up, and from the coaching to the players, there's a lot of people to me that you would expect more. And I mean, expectations are expectations. At the end of the day, it's about showing improvement. But that roster, you're supposed to get more than 7 wins, man.
I say this
in the NFC East.
They are primed to be like I can see it already, like the Jim Harbaugh, not saying him, but like how he did with the 49ers. Somebody come in here next year and they like fucking 15-1 or something. Like I can see somebody coming in
and that's what it's going to take. Somebody who from an outsider who Jerry may have to seize a little bit of power to, because it's happened before. It happened with Bill Parcells. It happened with Jimmy Johnson. And it may not last long because Jerry can't take that shit for too long when somebody gets too much of the credit other than him. But that's what it's going to take. Because what is he going to do?
Well,
Fire?
I would like
if
to
he
see
continues
a
to do that,
dude. My favorite, I would love to see like the Ryan, the coach who used to coach the Jets.
Rex, right?
Rex. I like Rex.
Nah, man.
I like
Hell
Rex. Nah. My only problem with Rex is that he doesn't do well with quarterbacks. And I think the development of Dak has to be prime for your next year or two as well. But I like Rex as a defensive coach. I like how he interacts with his players, and just kind of the unorthodox way of thinking at times. I like him too, and he ain't scared. I like that he don't coach scared.
You think your
Jason
offense
Garrett
is born and predictable now? You think your offense is born and predictable now? You put Rex Ryan in there.
You can match him up with somebody.
That's what I'm saying. The way Rex will work is you don't even let him touch the offense. You let him run the defense and motivate the players.
We're definitely boring now. I mean, I think what Jason's, he allows you to be innovative, but I think in his heart, he's a conservative, play to your defense type of a coach. So he don't. It's not that much razzle dazzle risk taking that you see in any of his offenses that you've seen in his administration.
I think your defense is straight. It's the offense is the guy. Like they didn't play bad. They didn't play bad Sunday. It's the offense just.
I think we got pretty lucky with the offense. That we're thinking about a banged up Philly offense.
Right.
That missed field goals offense.
Yeah. And then the last few
we didn't
weeks,
get no sacks.
Right. That defense haven't been producing no big plays.
Like sacks, I saw that. Like they was having problems sacking the quarterback. I don't think they're like a fucking sieve or no. Like, you know what I mean? Like I live in Atlanta. I've seen like the offense come and do whatever they want. I don't think they like that. To me the biggest thing is the drops. Two of those drops go the other way. The Cowboys probably win that game, or be in overtime or something. Two drops. Two drops.
Yeah, and if you're looking at that one game, I can see that. But
yeah,
like,
well, that yeah.
But if,
you mean like the totality?
Like the totality of it
my
all.
point is, every game it's 2 or 3 plays.
Right.
That could have gone this way if we had made those plays, we won the game. And literally, like that is most of our games we lost by less than 7 points. I mean, very rarely did somebody just walk us off the field. And so those plays that you see in other games, they were penalties. In other games, they were missed tackles. You know what I mean? Like they're just things that every game is something like, if that didn't happen, we win the game. And like that, those little things add up to big things when you talk about over a 16-game season.
Yeah, I don't know.
And all that being said, they still go to the playoffs.
It's a possibility. If I'm rooting for the Giants this week, better believe it.
Right.
You got something to play for.
And see, that's the shit though, right? This the type of season we've had. The Eagles would lose, and so would the Cowboys. It'd be like,
right.
They had a chance, but they couldn't win. Oh well.
Shout out to the NFL for like scheduling the games the way they do. They really did a good job in the last say when they start as 10 years when they trying to people sitting, so they move all the conference games into the back of the back of the schedule. Then they put all the games like at 4:00 or you know what I mean. Right. They're really innovative in that way. I shout them out. But one of the problems I have with like sports in general, what I said earlier in the show, like not having watched football like as much as I used to, it's like watching the same thing every year is getting hard for me. At least the older I get, the Baltimore Ravens give me something exciting to me because that's something I don't know that I've seen this before at this level, you know, with the Ravens. And that would be very exciting to watch them, how they perform in the playoffs for me. But everything else is just kind of like, I feel like I've seen it all before, you know?
Right. And I think the Ravens part of it, but I think in general, like the upswing in the young quarterback play, and just seeing different talent during playoff time, like that we've become so accustomed to seeing the Bradys and the Roethlisbergers and the Rivers and the Brees, the Manning, and to see those young dudes who, it's a new era, and somebody like Baltimore who can, and like you said a couple weeks ago, I don't think it's going to last too long.
Years wise.
Right, years wise, but at least not the way that they play now.
Definitely.
But it's fun to watch, and that's hard for me to say as a Steelers fan.
It's going to be fun to me to watch. I'm going to watch this playoffs. So now you talk about the playoffs. So now you're talking about the best teams. They're going to scheme for the Ravens in a way that it's not necessarily consistent throughout the season. So this is going to be interesting to see. I think, my opinion, last year their offense was a little bland. Like, not bland, but I felt like they could have switched it up a little more. And they got their reasons, Right. But this year, it's going to be interesting because they're going to be looking for the sweet. Oh, then Lewis is hurt. So that going to affect that read option.
Tight end?
No, the running back. I'm gonna say his name. Ingram. Who the fuck is Lewis?
Well,
Ray Lewis. Fuck, I don't know.
No, I don't know. Maybe you meant Jamal Lewis.
Mark Ingram. That's why I meant Jamal Lewis.
Mark Ingram and Mark Andrews are hurt.
Both of them.
Tight end,
It's two biggest weapons.
Right, two biggest weapons. And you're right.
Jamal
like teams
Lewis.
are gonna scheme for them, and teams like you look at they didn't score until 1 minute and 40 seconds left in the first half against Cleveland this weekend, and Cleveland's always been a thorn in their side. For this year, they beat them the first time, but you guarantee that Bill Belichick and the Chiefs, and they're gonna go look at that film and at least figure out what were they doing. But that's the difference.
And do more
the difficult part with the Ravens is it's like playing the Warriors of the last 5 years. It's like so much to defend, and if you give them a 6 inches of daylight, you down by 14 before you know it. It's
I hope they don't. Usually, we see in the playoffs they just start hitting them, hitting Lamar Jackson. Just start hitting them for no reason, like flag be damn. You know what I mean?
But I mean, I also think that game is going to help Belichick see what y'all don't do well,
right?
And then try to get a game plan of I'm gonna make you beat us the entire game doing what you don't do well.
Exactly.
Once I figure that out, okay, then this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to make you throw it 50 times today.
Yeah.
You're going mush rush, so that readout should be somebody going to hit Lamar Jackson every play. One person goes straight for it sounds so simple, but he makes it sounds so simple. It's all you got to do, and then he just runs.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. We have to see. But it's going to be fun to see how these teams, these top tier teams scheme. The Bills, that's probably who they end up playing, somebody like that, which has a great defense.
Right.
It's going to be fun.
They're going to be coming for them.
Yeah.
They're going to be coming for them.
So, Keon, anything you know other than what we talked about already?
That's it. The Ravens are going to be fun. I'm excited to watch them. And the Falcons are, I think my man Quinn probably saved his job, over the last couple of weeks.
Wow,
but
really?
I've come back a little bit, like fired, because I start thinking, like, what is the point? You fire him and then to hire who? You know what I mean? Like, there ain't nobody, to do. What are you doing? What are we really doing? It's just, they're in a worse position than the Cowboys, because it's like the salary cap hell. You know what I mean? Next year, it's nothing. This next year probably gonna be just like this. That's my prediction.
I mean, it could be, but it's the NFL.
But is that a reason to get rid of? I mean, like, don't you want to start over then if you expecting more sorriness?
Well, that's like they're sorry. It's like okay, all right. Coaching has been an issue, but it's like who to hire who? Who are you gonna hire? And what are they going to do with this roster? I mean, name somebody that said, "Oh, he would look good." You just hired Rex Ryan. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But who would you hire?
That's just who I would like. But you got Riley, the Oklahoma coach, might come up to the pros. Urban Meyer, those are two guys. Cowher might see if you convince him back. Harbaugh. I'm just saying. I'm not a GM, so I don't know. I don't got a list. I'm just saying. Those are just some names of people I've heard. But either way, like, he was the coach who coached out a Super Bowl. He ain't been performing the last two
Packers old coach, Mike McCarthy.
No, hell no. And hell no. You see, I hope he go to the Panthers. You see interview with the Panthers today? Mm-hmm. I hope he go. I hope they hire that nigga.
You mentioned, this is Ron Rivera. He's out there. You mentioned the roster. Rivera. So are you saying
Del Rio?
The roster's sorry, and if the roster's sorry,
the roster,
should maybe get rid of the GM too?
I know you're throwing shots, but you actually make sense on the last two things you said made sense. That last comment and something else you said. You said so much bullshit. I can't remember the other thing. But as far as the roster, the roster is it's hard, man. They shouldn't have paid Freeman. I don't think they should have paid Julio. Really, honest, I love Julio. I got his jersey. I think they should have let Julio go, man. I think they should have let Matt Ryan go to last. But that's just so it is what it is. But is that the general manager or is that the organization? You know what I mean? Like I don't think he can do that on his own, can he? I don't. The Falcons are confusing because I don't know who's. And then Dan Quinn is like a part of. From what I hear, he's like it's not just Quinn. It's not just Dimitrov. It's Quinn and Dimitrov together.
They all have an equal say in it.
Yeah, like what I hear is that when they hired Quinn, it was like, do you want to keep Dimitrov? You know what I mean? Like it was, I'm just flashing across my screen. Marshawn Lynch signs with the Seahawks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that earlier. He was visiting.
Yeah, he just signed, probably pending drug tests. I said that. They didn't say that, but I'm the hell is
coming
past that
coming
shit,
for the Super Bowl run.
Right. Yeah.
Smelling like herb. Right. Yeah, but anyway, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens next year.
But like, here's the thing. Like with the Falcons, I know you say like you should have let Julio. You would have let Julio go. You would have let Freeman go. I get what you're saying, but if you go 6-10 after you keep those guys, yeah, there's a problem. But if you let all them dudes go and you go 4-12, 6-10, you getting fired.
You're right.
So
you're
I think
right.
I think like with any personnel decision, especially in the NFL, because it's so like season based, that it's kind of like in the draft. If it's like when if you got a chance to, you know what I'm saying, if you got a chance to draft somebody, and if they don't work out, but they were like when Jadeveon Clowney came out.
Exactly. We had a conversation.
Right. So that kind of thing. But like you got to be able to justify why you did it, even if it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So in 2 years, if you done gutted your franchise and let Matt Ryan, Julio, and Freeman go, and you 2-14, you getting fired. You can't justify.
I wouldn't have let Matt Ryan go, but I would
have Julio, or like if it's just Julio. You gotta sign Julio. Like you have to. Like there's no way you can justify not doing it.
I would have traded him. I mean, the Steelers did with Antonio Brown.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
they didn't trade Antonio Brown because he wasn't producing. Or
for other reasons. I know that. My point is, I think they didn't collapse because they got rid of one of the best receivers in the games. Like the whole organization just imploded. No, we will move on because it's a wide receiver. That's the difference between like the Belichick's and everybody else's. These wide receivers, running backs, we will find new ones of you guys.
Right, but
you know what I mean?
But Antonio Brown didn't start his antics last year. Guaranteed, they've been going on for 9 years.
That's not my point.
No, I get that, but I'm saying that because you're simplifying it by saying he's a wide receiver. Yeah, but the year before they just signed him to a $40 million extension because he's that damn good. Like that's what I'm saying. Like at some point you have to hold on to your prime talent because if you don't and then you lose, you can't justify it.
No, I'm not. We were talking past each other. Cause you got a point. Yes, if you do all these things and you get a bad record, you're gonna get fired. Okay, when you sign everybody and you get a bad record, what? You get fired. It's like I'm just saying that had they made those moves and then turn around and draft it better, and now you got money for free agents, maybe your record will be better. You know what I mean? But we'll never know. You know.
Yeah,
either way, you're gonna get fired if your record is bad.
6 in one, half a dozen in the other. Like
yeah.
Like you know what Julio is. Like you're gonna take a chance and say, I hope we get somebody as good as Julio. What I'm saying is, if you don't sign Julio and you don't sign Freeman and you end up 4-12, you fired after 1 year. If you sign both of them and you 4-12, you fired after 4 years. Either way, you're gonna get fired if your record sucks. But maintaining your prime talent does buy you some time.
Maybe, yeah, okay, sure. Man, you trying to save your job or win? Like now you talking about scared, you know. 4th and 1, we gonna punt every time. Like, I don't know, man.
Like that's why I'm saying you have to justify it because if you start letting talent walk, then you're not trying to win.
That's not this. That's so. Now you simplifying it. I'm saying At what
I
price?
am, and that's what I'm saying on purpose, because you just simplified it in that statement by saying, "Are you trying to win?" Or like, it's not that simple.
Like, no. Okay, so for Freeman, we go round and round circles. I know you agree with me. You're just playing radio. Devontae Freeman was very questionable whether he should have been made the highest paid running back in NFL history. But that's what the Falcons did.
Right, but who are you gonna like at the time that they paid him? Not with the benefit of results. At the time that they paid him,
questioned at the time, bro. I did. I questioned at the time. You had Coleman on the roster, and you can just draft like they did. They drafted they're running backs. You get Freeman is not talking about Adrian Peterson in his prime.
I'm not saying that, but you know, the best player is not always the highest paid player. It's about timing and all that shit. You know that.
Yeah.
But at the time, like, I mean, you're also questioning whether they should have kept Julio. Like,
yeah,
like
I would have let Julio go too.
Right. It's kind of like what you just told Al. Like, you saying, like, some of the shit you're saying is so crazy, I can't even, like, agree with the real shit you're saying. Like, there's no way they're going to let Julio walk.
They wouldn't have did it. I would have done it. I would have not let him go. Like, I would have traded him to another team. When you saw how about a contract, I would have traded him. Because I actually looked at this. Looking at, like, Jerry Rice, comparing to Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice up until 30. Oh, God, because we should have did this. When I looked at it, I forgot. It's off the top of my head. But it was like he started going down. He was still, I think he made one All-Pro after 30. And then he broke his leg at like 31 or 32. And he made like 2 Pro Bowls or something. But it was like 30, where Julio was like the decline. You know what I mean? He had 4 years, I believe.
I agree. And like, I'm just saying, like, it's different when, like, when San Francisco let Jerry Rice go, they had Terrell Owens. You know what I'm saying? When, especially as a franchise, and Julio he's close to Mount Rushmore level. He gonna get a statue in Atlanta. We know that.
Yeah,
at some point.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's Atlanta. Yeah.
And I ain't saying you're wrong about, you know, the player. We've said this before. Julio's an old, however old he is.
Yeah,
old 30-year-old. There's certain dudes that, like, man, you let Julio go. You let Julio go, and now you're 7 and 8. You're gonna lose. You guaranteed to lose your job.
And never get another one. I think you're right about that, but that's what I'm betting on. That if you make these moves, you're not gonna be bad. You're gonna make these moves, and you're gonna make you're gonna have some liberties to do other things to be good. Of course, if you do it and it's wrong, yeah, like I said, you out and you will never get another job again.
Right.
As a GM.
But I guess you could, you know, be the Browns and go sign, spend all that money on a bunch of other dudes who get you 4-12, and then.
Well, that's the one point. That's the one point we gotta. It's getting someone that, like, how can I say this? Not just letting them go because you're cheap, but like
something in return.
Yeah, with that, flexibility too.
Yeah, and I guess, I guess it's like we don't. Like, just saying let Julio walk and not knowing what would have come of that is different. But
I would never let Matt Ryan go either. We had the argument where no, you can't. I don't like Matt Ryan. No way. A lot of people don't like him, but I would never let him go. Hey, you gotta sign him in.
I think Rodney would have shot
that
dude.
I forgot his Rodney's name. Yeah. You got to argue some of that shit. just get somebody else. Like, no, that's a different position. You can't just do that.
Yeah, right.
You can't do that.
Yeah, man. It's funny, like all the Steelers fans that for the past however many years they don't like Big Ben, and they always just get rid of him, let him go, trade Big Ben, and now you see what the fuck we got, and you're like, yeah, this is what the fuck happens.
8 and 7. It's a whole lot of ifs. I'm going to ask a question. I don't even know. You can't answer it. Like, how good would they have been? But how good would he have played? We don't know. So I don't know.
I mean, he damn sure would have been an upgrade over Duck Hodges. I mean, you got to think. Like, he led the league in passing yards last year. So, I mean.
I think it was a mistake to sign this last contract he got. I think that was a mistake. Yep.
I don't, simply because again, like he's still playing at a high level. He's still a top 10 quarterback when he's healthy. And so without having like an answer to what's going to happen when he's gone, I think you kind of had to.
You don't sell the stock when its prices drop. You sell them when you see some shit about to go down.
That's different for a quarterback though. Like for a quarterback, you squeeze the juice out of that shit. All the juice.
Unless you got a replacement.
Right. And then if you don't, like most teams don't, you squeeze all the juice out of that quarterback. You see shit, everybody does it. The Giants did it. The Broncos got the rest of the juice out of Peyton. The Chargers are doing it right now with Phillip Rivers. Like they trying to get everything they can out of that dude.
When you say Peyton, my mind, I'm so jealous of Sean Payton and what the Saints got down there. I think he's so innovative, and I really think he can go like when he brought in Bridgewater. I think he can. There ain't nobody holding him hostage, man. I feel like he can just. His mind is so bright. He can just go. I feel the same way about Kyle Shanahan. He can just go. Ain't no player holding him hostage. He can just do what he want. You know what I mean? Within certain reason. Now, I'm not saying you can bring in some high school players in there, but he can do so much. You know, he's not beholden to one or two people.
Well, I definitely agree with Sean Payton. I'll withhold judgment. I'll withhold judgment just because 2 years ago they were saying the same thing about Sean McVay, and so if like everything in the NFL, people catch up to it, and so once people get a good look at what Shanahan's doing, if he can continue to do that, Sean Payton's been doing it for 14 years, so.
And I also think having an executor of Drew Brees makes that offensive mind look even better. So hopefully with Shanahan, will Garoppolo be the one to give his offense that shine and execute in that way? Or because part of what you see with the Rams is Goff isn't doing what he needs to be doing in the offensive side. So you got to have that guy who's going to make it happen.
Jimmy Garoppolo has a case of the fumbles. He fumbled the damn ball all the time. He got a serious issue with that.
That's going to kill him in the playoffs.
Sean Payton, so when Bridgewater was in there, he changed the whole offense to fit Bridgewater. This is what I'm saying. Like, he wasn't like beholden to this one style. He's like, okay, I'm gonna change everything, and they won. They won games with Bridgewater. Then Breeze comes back, changed the whole offense back to the short, and then he's even changed it for Breeze because Breeze don't have the arm he used to.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I absolutely agree with Sean Payton. Like, the dude is a genius.
Fucking sucks, man. And then they get I can't remember his name, dude for the Pelicans. Like, how the fuck, man? Some man. Hey, right, boy.
That's just some New Orleans hate going on like that.
Damn right it is.
Wow, that shit is real.
That's that Atlanta, New Orleans.
I see. That shit is real right there.
For real. Shit. Well, we were gonna talk about some coaches on the hot seat, but I think we already did that. Yeah. So, up next, we're gonna talk a little bit of baseball free agency in Al's baseball roundup. What's going on? Man. It's free agency, man. There's been some big signings, and the Yankees made moves with some money thrown around.
Hold on 1 second. We endured 2 weeks of boxing.
It's boxing is year round, man.
2 weeks of boxing. Is it year round?
Yeah, boxing's a year round sport, especially now with like his history being made.
I mean, it's year round, but they fight every 4 months?
Something like that, maybe 6.
So is that really year round, or is it like a week worth of fights that we really talking about here?
It's a year-round sport. They can fight anytime.
Okay, we talking about 5 fights over the course of a year. That's year-round. But we ain't bringing that up. Let's go on to baseball because I'm not yielding any of my time to talk about boxing.
Remember Pooh?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's funny.
I'm sorry.
That's all good. That's a good memory right there. That's funny. That's a funny memory right there.
Yo, I was like, is this nigga sleep on the show?
Yes, he is.
Classic.
Okay.
My apologies, Zach. Go ahead.
It's all good. It's all good. Before we talk about some free agency, though, let's just wrap it up with the MVP races, because you had Mike Trout, Cody Bellinger winning it in the MVP. Both races was close. So you got Mike Trout in the American League. He edged out the Astros third baseman, so that was real close. And then Cody Bellinger, him and Christian Yost was going at it the whole time throughout the league, so throughout the season. So shout out to those cats for bringing it home. And it was close races, but Cody Bellinger, MVP at National League, and Mike Trout, best player in the baseball, got it in American League. So that's what's up. But let's go to the free agency, and definitely shout out to my Yankees, coming off a 103 win season last year. They signed the most dominant starting pitcher, Garrett Cole, from the Houston Astros. So, but dude got paid, man. Average annual salary, $36 million.
Jeez.
$36 million. So he's at the top of the rotation with the Severino, Tanaka, Paxton. So they got to be the favorite to win their 28th World Series, man. What's up with the Yankees?
That's like a $2 million a start.
Yo, that's crazy.
Wow.
$36 million. What else went after? The San Francisco lost Madison Bumgarner, one of their best pitchers over the last 5-7 years. He went over to the Arizona D-backs, 5 years, $85 million. So watch out for the D-backs, because last year they got rid of some big contracts, and now they're getting back into the big contract game. So watch out for them. You got Steven Strasburg, World Series MVP. He took a risk and got paid off. He opted out of a contract that would have paid him $100 million over the next 4 seasons, and he went and signed him a 7-year, $245 million contract. 7 years, $245 million. Back with the Nationals. So he opted out, but went back to the Nationals and got paid. But because of that, they lost their third baseman, Anthony Rendon. He was a clutch player that, as you saw in the World Series. He went over to the Angels for a 7-year, $245 million contract. So that puts Rendon and Mike Trout back-to-back in that lineup. Watch out. They're going to be nasty. But that's a heavy, heavy contract, man. 7 years, $245 million for a third baseman. Good luck with that. And who gets the big prize? Shout out to Scott Boras, the agent, the mega agent, because in a matter of 48 hours, he had 3 clients signed for contracts worth $824 million.
True. That commission
in 48 hours, 3 clients, $824 million. Dang. That's crazy. That's crazy. So when you think of all of that beefing and the complaining I was talking about at the beginning of the year, with all of the negotiations taking all this time, they're going to drag it to spring training, then midsummer, because even some of those deals last year, they didn't get signed to the very, very end. But not this year, man. He pulled it off early on. So shout out to Scott Boras. And when you take his 5% commission on those deals, if you do the math, wait for it, $41 million goes to Scott Boras. Yeah. Whew. That's not bad at all.
And a bad couple days.
Not at all. And that's all I got for the winter version of Al's baseball roundup. That's all I got.
Appreciate it, sir.
No problem.
All right, and then since Keon been asking for so much, we had to get a baseball roundup.
Thank you. I know he missed it. Stop hating.
Oh man. Well, well, shit, Al. It's still a Keon, wake up, man.
Nah, I had it on mute. I was snoring. I didn't want to disturb the.
I appreciate you didn't, man. We don't need any snoring going on in my segment. Man. I thank you for that.
I don't know none of them niggas you talking about except for Strasburg.
I'm trying to hit
Mike
you.
Trout.
Pay attention.
Okay.
You don't know Mike
Pay
Trout?
attention.
I heard his name, but I couldn't pick him out in a lineup.
Yeah. Well, Al, it's still in your court, man. You got some trivia for us?
Yeah, let's go into that trivia, son. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're ready. No
All right.
baseball.
Let's see. Do I have any? I do have some baseball trivia just for your ass.
And I'm giving you a hard time. I like baseball.
I got some baseball trivia in there for you.
All right.
So I got 4 categories. I got 4 categories. 2 of them have 3 questions. 1 of them have 2 questions, and 1 of them have 5 questions. So I'll they all worth one. They're just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So
okay.
That's just how much they worth. Yeah, this is 3 seconds rapid fire. You either know it or you don't.
3 seconds.
Right? 3 seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. You either know it or you don't.
So all of them like that?
Huh?
All of them like that?
All of them like that. You got 3 seconds. Here's your categories.
Short game.
Here are your categories. Christmas flicks.
Okay.
Dope white MCs.
Okay.
Dope white MCs. Baseball trivia. And then the last one, famous lines in movies. So you got Christmas flicks, which has 3 questions. Dope white MCs has 3 questions.
Okay.
Baseball trivia only has 2 questions. And then famous lines in movies has 5 questions.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
All right.
Writing
questions?
down. I'm writing it down. I'm ready.
Okay. Keon, you go in second because you had all the cowboy jokes. So JR, you go first.
Oh man. Let me get dope white MCs.
For 1, 2, or 3.
For 3. Okay.
For 3. Okay. Vinny Paz.
Yeah.
Macklemore. Logic. Action Bronson. Mac Miller. Which one was born in Queens?
Oh wow.
1 Mississippi.
Wow.
2 Mississippi.
Vinny Paz.
3 Mississippi. And Action Bronson.
No.
Okay.
Vinny Paz is from Philly.
He's from Philly.
Right.
I like Vinny Paz.
All right. What you got, Keith?
Okay, let me get dope white MCs.
1 or 2.
2.
Name 3 members of the Beastie Boy band.
Man. That should've been- I don't know them niggas.
Okay, so I was gonna give you a little second.
Mikey Nice, Jimmy B, and they got names like that. I don't know. It's some shit like that.
You either know it or you don't.
I don't know it.
Ad Rock.
Mike D.
It was something like that. I knew.
Mike D. Ad Rock.
Ad Rock.
And MCA.
MCA. Damn. My bad.
It's all right. It's all right. What you got?
All right, let me get movie lines. So what are
Movie lines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, for 3.
3. Okay. What character said this? Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
That would be Nino Brown, sir.
That is correct.
Huh. All right. Back to me. We go dope white MCs for 1.
Okay. Eminem, a.k.a. Marshall Bruce Mathers III, was born in St. Louis, Missouri, has sold over 300 million records, has 10 number 1 albums on the Billboard 200 and 5 number 1 singles on the Billboard Hot 100. Give me the name of the duo group he is in with Royce the 5'9".
Oh, Bad Meets Evil.
That is correct.
And I did not know he was born in Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay.
I tell you, I'm trying to teach you something. Hang with me.
All right.
He moved to Detroit when he was like 8 or some shit like
that. I didn't know that.
All right, what you got, Jake?
Let me get movie lines for 4.
Okay. In what movie did John Witherspoon say, "The secret is you got to coordinate"? 1 Mississippi.
That's Boomerang.
2 Mississippi.
Yeah.
That is correct. That is correct.
Let me go Christmas movies for 3.
Christmas flicks for 3. In The Preacher's Wife, an angel comes to earth to help a preacher save his church and his family. Whitney Houston plays the preacher's wife. Courtney Vance plays the preacher. Who plays the angel? 1 Mississippi.
Denzel Washington?
That is correct.
Damn, I pulled that out my ass. Okay. All right.
Let me get movie lines for 5.
What movie is this from? King Kong and Got Shit on Me.
Yeah.
1 Mississippi.
Training Day.
2 Mississippi. That is correct.
Just watching it. All right, let me go Christmas movies for 2.
Okay.
Staying away from baseball, you see that, right? Go
I
ahead.
see. In the 3rd installment of the Friday series, Friday After Next, 2 cousins work nights at a local mall as security guards. When their house is robbed on Christmas Eve, they team up to track the robber down. What comedian plays the Santa Claus? 1 Mississippi.
Santa Claus was
2 Mississippi.
Mike
3
Epps.
Mississippi. That is not correct. That would be Ricky Smiley.
Ricky Smiley. Damn.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me get movie quotes for 2.
Who said this? You know, what actor said this? You know you done fucked up, right?
Bill Duke.
That would be Bill Duke.
Damn. You know you done fucked up, right?
You know you done fucked up, right?
That's our Menace to Society.
That would be Menace to Society.
Yeah.
All right, Key, you got 1 for Christmas flicks and 1 and 2 for baseball trivia.
We do baseball for 2.
Okay. This offseason, Garrett Cole just signed the largest contract in Major League Baseball history for a pitcher. What team did he pitch on last year?
Who the fuck is Garrett Cole, man?
See, if you was listening,
Right.
to my roundup, this is straight out the roundup.
The Yankees.
Oh, man. See? Dun, 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 dun. No, he pitched with the Houston Astros last year.
Okay, my bad.
That's all right. That's all right. Jay, you got Christmas flicks or baseball trivia?
All the movie quotes gone?
Jay was
The one ain't
Yes,
left?
all the movies. Oh, no,
Oh.
you're right. You're right. You're right.
I thought
Two
the one was
Ask
left.
about the baseball.
You're
It's
right.
baseball
2
left.
is right.
There's
You got-
baseball left, Jay.
We get movie quotes for 1.
2 is left. Only 2 is left.
Oh, 2. Let me get it for 2.
Okay. Bye, Felicia.
Oh man.
What was Ice Cube's character's name?
Oh, good.
1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi. 3
Craig.
Mississippi. Craig is it.
Hey.
Craig Johnson.
Come on, Craig.
It threw me off because I know his son said it as
That's why
Ice
I
Cube in
went.
the other movie. I was like, oh,
That's
shit,
why
that's not the right one. But yeah.
That's where I went. That's where my mind went.
So you got Christmas flicks for
Yeah.
1 or baseball trivia for 1. Where you going to keep?
Baseball for 1.
Okay. Jose Altuve
Man.
plays for what team?
Oh, come on. You got
Dodgers.
The who? You say the Niners?
I didn't say that. I said the Dodgers.
Oh, the Dodgers. The Dodgers. Okay. No.
Yeah.
So, baseball trivia, both questions have the same answer. The Houston Astros.
Okay.
Again, Houston Astros.
And Altuve, the short dude.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. 5'5".
I don't even know who won the World Series this year. I'm kind of tuned out. And I usually follow baseball pretty good, but yeah, my bad.
Okay, who wants the last question? The Christmas flick.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Unless you want to get something right, Keon, you want a chance to get it.
Yeah, I got a couple right. I think I got 2 right.
You got 2 right. You got 2 right.
So let me do it then. Christmas music.
All right, you can do this one, Keon. Upon learning she has a terminal illness, this shy woman decides to sell off all her possessions and live up at a posh European hotel. This is a Christmas movie. In this Christmas movie, who plays the shy woman?
I have no idea. Angela Bassett.
Queen Latifah.
Jay, you know this? Queen Latifah.
And what? What movie was that?
Last Holiday.
Okay, I never saw that.
It's a good movie. Yeah, it's a good movie.
Okay.
Not bad. Okay. That's all I got. The tribute goes to Jay.
Good, Al.
Thank you.
What was that score looking like, just so I can know?
Damn, you really want to rub it into him like that?
I do.
I'm proud of you too.
You had 15, he had 4.
15?
15.
4. Oh, okay, all right. It was about 2 points. Yeah, I'm glad for my 2 answers right. Shit.
Oh, man. Well, Al, you hosted, man. Your parting shot.
Man, my parting shot, I just want to say, as we close out 2019, I just want to remind people that 2019 was an amazing year for black quarterbacks. And I was in a barbershop Saturday getting a cut. My barber just happened to, because Jameis and Deshaun happened to be playing. And he's an older cat, and he was just like, man, we've had an amazing evolution in the NFL, going from, like, there was no quarterbacks that were black, and it was intentional because they said they were they weren't smart enough to play quarterback, to now you got 8 quarterbacks who are starting in the NFL, which is 25% of the league, man, to go from 0 in the league to 25% are starting. And those 8 are like in the top, arguably the top half, maybe top 20 quarterbacks, so it's not like they the bums of the league. These guys, even Jameis Winston is, I would say he's probably the worst of the bunch, or maybe Jacoby, but either way, they doing well. So shout out to the black quarterbacks, and more to come, because we've come a long way, and that's just a sign, and just to remember our history, but to acknowledge that we've come a long way.
All right. And the next step is being able to have some black retreads that get chance after chance after chance after they even fail.
Like the Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Right. The McCown brothers. Those guys.
I thought you were going to say ownership, but all right.
I'm talking about just amongst quarterbacks. But yeah. Yeah, man. Absolutely agree. Keon, what you got for me?
Part shot, keep it short tonight. Just say happy holidays to everybody, and I just hope that everybody get everything they want for Christmas and white Santa Claus. So that's all I got.
I might be waiting.
You got the Hallmark Channel on replay.
Nah.
Oh man, nothing crazy. I saved the yearly roundup parting shot for next week, since it'll be New Year. But shout out to you, Pooh. Pooh is recording his comeback episode of Speak the Truth, so I guess Power is back on. So the Speak the Truth crew is recording as we speak, so Pooh couldn't be on tonight. So shout out to you, Pooh. We'll talk to you. Well, may not talk to him next week either, because it'll be Monday next week again. So we'll talk to you when we talk to you. We got to see what the secretary says, what kind of memo we get from Pooh.
All right.
Yeah, man. But everybody, enjoy your holiday. Definitely check us out. Give us a 5-star rating wherever you listen to all your podcasts. You can find us on social media at Go Defy Life. We'll talk to you next week. Until
Happy
then,
Kwanzaa.
defy life. In the
Defy
famous
life.
words of David Allen Greer, what the fuck is Kwanzaa? Y'all take it away.
Wow.
Defy life.
Defy life.
Welcome to the Anything, Everything, and Nothing podcast with Lynn and Kim. Join us as we discuss the latest in everything from entertainment and current events to the craziness that is our real life.
Let's laugh, let's live, let's talk about it. New episode every Tuesday on the Defy Life Podcast Network. And remember, if you're not defying life, then what are you doing? Lynn and Kim.